Ladies and gentlemen, Iran may have just made a massive mistake because after all the talk about a ceasefire, after all the talk about negotiations, after all the talk about getting back to the table and calming this thing down, what happens? Overnight, missiles started flying again. Israel striking back. Iran's fired into Israel. Hezbollah's sitting in Lebanon. The Houthis are jumping in. President Trump is now having to come out and tell both sides to stop shooting before this thing turns into something much bigger. Now, do me a favor before we get into this. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let me ask all of you a serious question here to really kick things off. If Iran is launching ballistic missiles, if Iranian-backed proxies are firing from multiple directions, if the oil tankers are threatened, if the energy structure is threatened, do you think that this is a ceasefire preparation? Is Iran giving any sign that they want a deal? Well, the president of the United States came out this morning, posted on Truth Social. Both sides, Israel and Iran, are looking to do an immediate ceasefire. Final negotiations on peace are proceeding, subject to ignorance or stupidity getting in the way. And that seems like what's happening. The blockade will remain in place in full force and effect until a final deal is reached. Things should move quickly. I want to be as positive as the president is right now. But the one word there, stupidity, is what I think is the real problem. The IRGC is operating independently. I don't believe they are operating in conjunction with the leadership in Tehran. The IDF, the Israelis, at some point, they have to defend themselves. We all know what happened back in October of 2023. I get it. I don't know if the Israelis want a peace deal right now or if they want pounds and pounds of flesh. And I understand, because if the situation was reversed, if some Mexican cartels had launched missiles into, let's say, San Antonio, Texas, I know what would be going on right now, or it would have probably already been finished. But the IRGC, they are protecting their proxies in Lebanon. So the IRGC is protecting their assets, and their assets are not good groups of people. But folks, I want to tell you what that looks like to me. Iran has these proxies doing their dirty work. They want the dirty work to continue. But as soon as Israel responds to some of the dirty work, then Iran is suddenly the victim. Now, we know that Iran cannot beat the United States military in a straight fight. It can't line up against CENTCOM, the Navy, the Air Force, our defense systems. We know that. So what does Iran do? They play the pressure game. They fire these missiles. They activate their proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas. They threaten the shipping lanes. That's how this game is working. And I'm not sure if Iran or even Israel knows what President Trump's next move is going to be. But when he comes out with a warning like this, on top of what we're seeing overnight, and I'll show you here, this is some footage of some airstrikes conducted by the IDF into Iran. This should tell you what's happening. They're doing defensive strikes on some of these Iranian forces, missile launching batteries, some of their capabilities, their offensive capabilities, and they're trying to limit this. I understand. And it's hard for me, or probably for anyone else, to sit idly by and tell Israel to stop, because we're not there. We're not the ones that are absorbing this firepower on a constant basis with air raid sirens playing all the time. So I get it. Now, here is an image of one of Iran's failed missiles that they launched towards Israel. Now, this guy here looks a little crazy going near something like this. So is this the kind of capability that we're allowing to threaten us? I understand they only have to be lucky once, and we have to be 100% all of the time. I'm not making fun of the Iranian group, but I am making fun of them. Here's another group of Iranians going to examine the same thing. At what point does this become enough? I've had enough. I know most of you have had enough. I know the president has had enough. I know our country has had enough with rising gas prices, with grocery prices. I still can't understand how our gas prices are going up, considering we don't get any oil from Iran. We don't get bread. We don't get groceries from there, but our grocery prices are going up. I think there's a little bit of price gouging going on. And that I don't know if that's part of it. I don't know if we accept it, but apparently now, and this just happened just moments ago, Iran has announced a halt to its attack on Israel while warning that any further military action by Israel against Lebanon could trigger a renewed and far more severe response. A more severe response than this. Okay. That's where we're going this morning. We've got the BBC. They're also coming out saying that the Israelis and the Iranians have, they're going to stop their airstrikes on each other, but will resume if Israel attacks Lebanon. And this looks like downtown London. This looks like downtown New York City or any college campus here in the United States. When and how do we ever get a real peace deal in that region? If Iran's IRGC says that they're going to shut down any attacks, is there anything that's led you to believe them that they will? I just don't know. And I don't think the president of the United States is going to believe very much from either side at this point. I think they're both complicit. And sadly, we are feeling some of the blowback, some of the aftermath, some of the far away effects of the chaos in the Middle East. And I'm at a point right now where we just let Israel be Israel and we let them handle their business and we get out of the way. We keep the strait open. We conduct some kind of escorts in and out of the strait. We keep our troops safe in and out. And we just get out of their way. Is that the right answer? I don't know. These people have been fighting for thousands of years. I know the president of the United States wants a peace deal. He wants a ceasefire agreement. He doesn't want Iran to have nuclear capabilities. And could you imagine what Iran would be like right now, or what Israel would be like right now if they did have nuclear capabilities? What you're seeing there is some of the airstrikes into Iran and into conducted by the IDF. If Iran had a nuclear missile, at this point, that whole region would be toxic. Probably, you probably wouldn't be able to go there. The ships coming in and out, the oil that's being supplied by Iran to the rest of the world would be of no use. Iran knows that. That is basically their insurance policy. They are leveraging their capabilities to help and supply oil around the world as an insurance policy. At some point, that insurance policy is going to be called in. I think Israel wants to call that in. We all know what happened in October of 2023. They do want some revenge. They want their pound of flesh. But right now, their pound of flesh is affecting a lot of people globally. Now, the president told Netanyahu to back off and get a deal done, stop shooting. That hasn't happened. We're going to have to intervene again. I believe that down to my core. I don't trust Iran for the proxies that they've been funding. They've not given us any reason to trust them for 47, 50 years. Israel wants revenge. I get it. I don't know if I trust the IDF to stop, to allow peace to get in the way, for allow peace to happen. The President of the United States, Rubio, the Department of War are doing their best to negotiate. It might be time to just pull out the big stick and crack some heads at this point. Thanks for watching. Smash the like and subscribe button. I am as frustrated as you are, and I don't know where this thing goes next. I really don't. Take care. See you in the next one.